Raji talks to his calculator. It was a boring day in history class, one of those afternoons where even the buzzing of the ceiling lights seemed more interesting than the lecture about 18th century treaties. Raji stared at his desk, doodling random shapes on the edge of his notebook. His calculator sat beside him, as lifeless as it had always been. Or so he thought. Suddenly, as the teacher droned on about diplomacy, Raji heard a faint voice. "Hey! You! Over here!" Raji blinked, looking around the classroom. Everyone was busy taking notes or zoning out, no one was paying attention to him. "Down here!" "The calculator," the voice said again. Raji slowly looked down, his heart racing. The calculator's screen flickered, showing a strange combination of letters and numbers that almost resembled words. "Whoa," Raji whispered, poking it with his pencil. "Are you talking?" "Yes," the calculator said, its electronic voice barely audible. Raji stared, frozen in disbelief. "Okay. This is crazy." The calculator continued, "Crazy is subjective. But yes, I have something important to tell you." Raji leaned closer. Okay? What's so important?" The calculator paused, then replied, "You're bad at math." Mikey gets involved. Later that afternoon, Raji stormed into the house, clutching his talking calculator. Mikey was sprawled on the couch, snacking on chips. "What's with the face? Did history class destroy your soul again?" Raji held up the calculator. "It talked to me." Mikey snorted. "Oh, wow. You're losing it, dude." "I'm serious. This thing told me I'm bad at math." Mikey burst into laughter, nearly choking on his chips. "The calculator roasted you? That's legendary." "Stop laughing," Raji snapped. "It's clearly haunted or something." Mikey smirked, grabbing the calculator and pressing a few buttons. "Let's see if it talks to me." The screen flickered again. "Who is this?" the calculator demanded. Mikey grinned. "The guy who eats more chips than Raji." The calculator replied, "You're equally bad at math." Mikey's jaw dropped. "What?" Raji burst out laughing. "See? It's savage." The quest for answers. Determined to figure out why the calculator was alive and insulting them, Raji and Mikey spent the evening interrogating it. "What do you want?" Raji asked. The calculator replied, "To teach you math." "Why are you so mean about it?" Mikey added. "Because neither of you studies enough," the calculator said flatly. Raji groaned. "This thing is worse than Dad." "Hey," the calculator said suddenly. "Speaking of your dad, you should probably hide me. He'll think I'm broken and throw me away." Raji and Mikey exchanged nervous glances. "Oh no," Raji whispered. "Dad would definitely toss it. He hates when stuff doesn't work properly." "Great," Mikey muttered. "Now we have a haunted calculator to protect." Raji slumped onto the couch, staring at the freshly printed progress report in his hands. Next to his grades, there was a new section labeled Socializing Skills. And under that section? A giant red F. Mikey peeked over his shoulder, munching on popcorn. "Dude! Did you seriously fail at socializing?" Raji groaned, burying his face in his hands. "Apparently. How is this even a thing?" Mikey smirked. Maybe it's because your only friend is a haunted calculator. The calculator isn't my friend, Raji snapped. Sounds like something a guy with an F in socializing would say, Mikey teased. Raji glared at him. Not helping. The socializing evaluation. Raji stormed into the kitchen, clutching the progress report. Mom looked up from her magazine, raising an eyebrow. What's wrong now? This. Raji waved the report dramatically. I failed socializing. Mom stared at him. What does that even mean? It means my school thinks I'm bad at making friends or, I don't know, talking to people. Mikey popped into the room, smirking. They're not wrong. Mom sighed, patting Raji's shoulder. Maybe it's because you spend all your time arguing with your calculator. It's not a friendship, it's a haunted device, Raji yelled. Mikey leaned against the counter. Let's be honest, you talk to that calculator more than you talk to actual humans. Raji groaned. This is a nightmare. Dad's perspective. As expected, Dad summoned Raji to discuss the progress report. Raji! Come downstairs. Now! Raji trudged into the living room, holding the report like a ticket to doom. Dad was sitting on the couch, arms crossed. What is this? It's my progress report, Raji muttered. Why does it say you failed socializing? Raji sighed. Apparently I don't have enough friends or something. Dad nodded thoughtfully. Makes sense. You do spend a lot of time on your calculator. Why does everyone keep saying that? Raji yelled. Dad shook his head. You need to do better. Socializing is important. Mikey snorted from the corner. Says the guy who asks Raji to pass him the remote instead of talking to him like a normal person. Dad glared at Mikey. Stay out of this. Raji's plan for redemption. Determined to prove everyone wrong, Raji decided to fix his socializing skills. Step 1. Starting conversations. Hey, Mikey, Raji said awkwardly. Mikey stared at him. Dude, what are you doing? Socializing, Raji replied flatly. That's not how you do it, Mikey said, shaking his head. You sound like a robot. Raji sighed. Okay, fine. How do I socialize? Mikey smirked. Step 1, don't talk to haunted calculators. Raji groaned. I hate you. Mikey grinned. Step 2, make friends who aren't related to you. Raji stared at him. How am I supposed to do that? Everyone at school thinks I'm weird. Because you are, Mikey replied cheerfully. Dinner was served, and the Patel family gathered around the table for what should have been a peaceful meal. But not for Raji. He sat at the table, staring at his plate of curry and rice, whispering to his calculator. Should I eat the rice first or the curry? Raji asked. The calculator's screen flickered. Eat both simultaneously. Efficient consumption maximizes energy. Mikey stared in absolute disbelief from across the table. Bro. You're talking to the calculator. During dinner. Mom sighed. Raji, put that thing away. Raji ignored her. So, calculator, do you think I could survive with zero sleep for 5 days straight? Dad's eye twitched. Raji, Dad said firmly. Enough with the calculator. Eat your food. Raji waved him off. Just a second. I'm asking for advice. Dad's patience snapped. He reached across the table, grabbing the calculator. No! Wait! Raji shouted. But before anyone could stop him, Dad raised the calculator high and smashed it onto the ground with all his might. The calculator shattered into pieces, its flickering screen going dark forever. Raji gasped, horrified. You murdered it! Mikey collapsed into laughter. Oh my gosh! I think this is the most dramatic family dinner we've ever had. The aftermath of the smash. Raji stormed upstairs, still mourning the loss of his calculator. But before he could even sit down and wallow in self-pity, Dad's booming voice echoed through the house. Raji! Come downstairs! Now! Raji groaned, muttering under his breath. Not again. He dragged himself downstairs, glaring at Dad. What do you want? Dad glared back. Fix your attitude. What attitude? Raji snapped. Raji! Come downstairs. Now! Dad repeated, even though Raji was already standing right there. Raji threw his hands up. I'm literally in front of you. Raji! Come downstairs. Now! Mikey snorted from the couch. Oh, this is good. This cycle repeated 10 more times, with Dad summoning Raji again and again, demanding he fix his attitude. Finally, on the 11th summon, Raji slumped forward, exhausted. Yes, Dad, he said respectfully, his voice low and defeated. Dad smiled proudly. Now that's the tone I was looking for. Mikey whispered to Raji, you should have just said yes the first time. Raji groaned. I'm officially living in a nightmare.